Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, epidemiologist, biostatistician, faculty member, and in this segment I'm going to be going over a statistical test known as Cox Regression. Now the point that I'm trying to make here, I created a video on Cox Regression previously. However, the techniques in SPSS are actually quite different between regular Cox Regression and complex samples Cox Regression. So let's go ahead and get started here. So let's select the Analyze button and take a look at what menu item might have something along the lines of Cox Regression. So we got the survival analysis, and you have some options here. You can create life tables. That I don't recommend, because if you're putting that in the paper, then some of these life tables can get long. You can potentially create a visual with the life tables and in some places. However, I would not spend too much time here. What you want to do then is go to Cox Regression. And one of the points that makes Kaplan-Meier not as appealing is that you're not able to include continuous variables as much as you are in a Cox regression. This is the most oftentimes used by most researchers when you're doing survival analysis. So let me show you some of these variables, and let me acquaint you and contextualize where this is coming from. So this is the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, 1999 to 2010. And there are several papers now that I've published on this with collaborators, is that this is actually going from 1999 to 2010 all the way to December 31, 2019. I've put together this data set, so you would need to actually create the data set in order to run the analysis. So let's go ahead and take a look here what will go in each of these boxes here, so that we can orient ourselves with these categories. So time is how much time has gone by before this has before the outcome. This is the outcome, and this is the time that it is taken. So for the time variable, what you can use is either period in months from interview or period in months from the exam. So depending on if you have an interview or an exam, you can use the respective variables. So for our sake, let's just use interview. And then, of course, you would want to have a mortality status, dead versus alive. And so dead is 1 here, so let's define the event mortality. And so that's 1. And then select continue. And then what you want to do is put in some continuous and categorical variables. So suicide we can include alcohol and some of the other variables that, for instance, vitamin D. This has been dichotomized here. So let's go to the categorical variables and covariates. All of these are categorical variables. So let's transfer these over. And covariates are usually the continuous variables that are included within your model. We don't have any right now. You can also change the indicator depending on what is being compared to. So you can do indicator and then reference category first or last. Then select continue and then select OK. So we start off with the omnibus test of model coefficients, just to see if this is all as a whole, if this is significant or not. And these are omnibus tests that are run on most other models as well. So there was 383 people that died, and then something happened to the 2,286 here. So that you can tell how many people died versus how many people were still living. And then let's take a look at more of the output, and where you're going to be focusing on here is predominantly the odds ratio that has been generated. And excuse me, you're not conducting logistic regression, so this is not odds ratio. This is something called the hazard ratio. So individuals that have contemplated suicide previously, they're 1.4 times likely to experience mortality than those that didn't. Now, this is not statistically significant. However, if we look at alcohol consumption and overall mortality in 2019, then that is statistically significant. The hazard ratio is 1.25. So individuals that are drinking alcohol are either 25% higher likely to have experience mortality, or 1.25 times likelihood of experiencing mortality. Vitamin D, there is no significance, so we're not going to interpret that. And then if there's continuous variables, these covariate means will appear. So this is a Cox regression that is conducted without any sort of complex samples. This is any data set that you have that is basically not secondary data, that is primary data collection or abstraction from data sets that are in the hospital. This is something that you can use. So that concludes this presentation. I hope this has made some sense. Thank you for listening.